All 12 legends are revealed. Not only that, the next 4 sets, alt arts, how all the mechanics are going to be working for this set, and even some really cool alt art cards for even just regular champions. Well, there was a lot, including a ton of different events that they're even going to have. My mind is just blown right now on what they were able to reveal at PAX Unplugged. What was that news? What do we think about it? What does this mean for Riftbound going forward? Well, let's talk about all of that right now. Yeah, so in case you guys missed it, don't worry, it wasn't a very long conversation, but we will post that video down below if you want to see what Jimmy and Dave specifically think about the reveals and all that jazz as they do so in real time. Now, of course, with this video, we're not going to be diving into my opinions right off the bat. We're going to be saving that to the end of the video, just in case you want a quick rundown of all the news. We are going to dive right into it. And of course, timestamps and chapters are going to be listed below for you. With that being said, I'm going away so you guys can see everything a lot better. Now, first and foremost, these are going to be the 12 legends. Now, of course, this was the biggest thing that was revealed first and foremost, and they started out with this. So now we know all 12 legends. And of course, we had some good ideas with like Lucian and things of that nature, just because they did show the main cards. One that we didn't necessarily know a whole lot about was going to be Jax in particular, but now we at least have his ability and what he's able to do. We know what Ezreal's able to do, Fiora, all that jazz, and there is a lot to look at and a lot to be able to just take a deeper dive at. Really cool to be able to see. Jax, first and foremost, has some really cool abilities that might be able to utilize some pretty surprising stuff, all things considered. Also, not only that, but I mean, Ezreal's looking pretty good as well. Going to be curious to see. Now, you have a reactive ability here of draw one, use only if you choose an enemy's if you've chosen an enemy's units and or gear twice this turn with spells or unit abilities. So really interesting, especially with this color combination first and foremost. Then next, of course, we're going to be going Grandmaster at Arms here again with Jax. Attach a detached equipment you control to a unit you control for 1. Now, of course, that's going to be kind of the same thing that we saw with Teemo with hidden abilities, but instead Jax with equipment. And I mean, with this color combination, there's already some very scary equipment that we are going to be taking a look at. Then, of course, Rumble here. Your mechs have shield +1 while they are defenders. Now, of course, that does seem like a lesser Master Yi in this case, but in the same way, at least this stacks. And so you're going to be able to maybe defend with this. But not only that, the more that you have defending, the better you are going to be as long as they are mechs. And so kind of cool that it can stack up on that. And it's going to be really interesting, especially with red. Not only that, but with blue, you're going to have things like time warps and things of that nature. It's kind of like the best of both worlds. And I mean, that's going to be pretty scary. But again, it's going to depend on the amount of mechs that we even have to our utility to be able to use here. But still, really exciting stuff. Now, I mean, this is going to be interesting. The Void Burrower. I mean, just a really cool way to phrase that right there. When you conquer, you may exhaust me to reveal the top 2 cards of your main deck. You may play one, then recycle the rest. So, I mean, holy crap. And yellow and red, again, is going to be really interesting. You may exhaust me to reveal the top 2 cards of your main deck. You may play one. What? Now, it doesn't say that you have to pay the power cost like what other cards do have in this case. But, man, the Void Burrower is going to be interesting. Plain and simple right there. Now, Fire Below the Mountain. Now, Orin's going to be really fun as well. He has reaction to where you can go ahead and add 1 power, and you can only play gear or use gear abilities with this ability. So really interesting to be able to see there. Really, again, love the color combinations that Orin is going to be able to have, and especially as more cards end up coming out, it's going to be interesting to see how that ends up playing. Now, we already knew about, you know, these two here, but we didn't know about Lucian. Now, of course, we knew odds are he was going to be one of the legends in this deck. Really cool that he is red and orange. Now, of course, these are going to be the same color combinations they said that we had in Origins. So until set 4, we will not see all the color combinations represented. They said that we have 12 so far that are represented, but there are 16 in total with 6 color combinations. That's how many different combinations can be had in total. So we won't be seeing that until set 4. So keep that in mind as we go about that. But still, Lucian's really interesting. Your equipment each give Assault, which is +1 might while attacking. That's kind of crazy too. And again, the removal and just the all-around craziness of orange as well, being able to add a lot of might, things of that nature. There's going to be some crazy combinations with Lucian that you might be able to find. And then, of course, everyone else is pretty much the same at this point. So, I mean, this was really cool to be able to see first and foremost. Now, of course, next, we got some really exciting things here. You know, they are trying to go ahead and say, well, how are you going to be able to use old cards with the new cards? Well, first and foremost, this is going to be interesting with the signature spells here. Now, you reveal the top 2 cards of your main deck. You may play one of them, reducing the cost by 2. Draw any you do not play this way. So, I mean, just an absolutely insane card. Now, they did say that it was going to actually stack with Legion. So, essentially, Noxus Hopeful can be played for free. Defiant Dance, reaction. Now, give a unit +2 this turn and another unit -2 this turn. Now, they did say, biggest thing was last set that they were playing around with minimum of 1. Now, with this, you can go down to 0, negative, whatever you want in that case, but the unit will not die. Instead, they will just go ahead and not deal any combat damage at that point, but still going to be making Caitlyn a little bit more meta relevant there. Now, again, Relentless Pursuit. Ooh, this is going to be good. Now, with that, move a friendly unit. You may attach an equipment with the same controller to it. This turn, that unit has, when I conquer, you may move me to my base. So just a good way to get in, get some points, get out, save yourself. There's actually a huge benefit to being able to keep your units in base. There's only a few things that are actually able to get them out of base or destroy them out of base kind of thing. So if you're able to go ahead and stay back at that point, you're in a good spot. So really cool stuff to see that. Now, this is nothing new. We're not going to spend much time on this. There's a new type of mechanic, which is gold. You're going to be able to kill this to add a power. Now, of course, that goes hand in hand with Kim Baroness, which is going to be able to add 1 additional rune as well when you are within 3 points of victory. So really good way to ramp up there. Now, repeat, kind of what it says is what it does. You play at any time, even before spells and abilities resolve. At least this one in Danger Zone is at reaction speed. And then you can repeat for 1 and a power cost. So you may pay the additional cost to repeat the spell's effects, and it can give your mechs +1 this turn, so up to 2 if you decide to repeat. Really cool idea with this mechanic. Curious on what other cards might be using this in the next set. With that, mechanics, again, nothing new here. Equipment. This is kind of the confusing part where sometimes the text is on the bottom half, and they kind of pick and choose. Now, they say, like, when it actually is a specific ability, then at that point, you're going to be able to go ahead and utilize it well. But the point of this is for it to just be right showing at the bottom of the card so that you know when I hold, score 1 point, and you get also +2 might. We've both already seen these cards revealed. I'm going to be curious if there's any more equipment that is going to be revealed. But as for more equipment here, Draven has signature equipment instead of a signature spell, at least so far as we've seen. And this is quick draw, which means it can be played at reaction speed as a gear. And at the same time, if this is unattached, kill it at the start of its controller beginning phase before scoring. So, I mean, it's just going to be able to add +3, but man, being able to go ahead and equip and even add that +3 at quick draw speed is going to be something to really surprise your opponent with, and I'm excited to see what that is going to be. With that, if you want to be able to equip things easier, well, we got Weapon Master. When you play me, you may equip one of your equipments to me for 1 power less, even if it's already attached. The first time I conquer each turn, ready me. So again, something kind of crazy to be able to do with Lucian in that case, and he can come in with Weapon Master. Again, just go in and attack in, and then be able to go back to base. Or if there's a way for you to use ganking, there's battlefields that are able to do so. There's also cards that are able to do so. Not yet in this kind of color combination that Lucian's going to be in, but still something to keep in mind. Now, collectability. Now, this is going to be something really fun to be able to see. They are going to be coming out with some really cool overnumbered in this next set. So something to keep in mind and look forward to about that. Again, signature spells in particular and the legend ability. And then we have, you know, the regular art in this case that, again, just looks so good. But man, does this alt art just look next level. Not only that, though, holy crap, if you guys have not seen this overnumbered legend, this is also gonna be in foil, and woohoo, this is gonna be a good looking card. I just want to basically, you know, take my credit card out and be like, shut up and take my money. I am not gonna have any left. Instead of buying a house, we are getting into Riftbound. Sorry, wife, that's how it is. Not only that, overnumbered champion units, and they are going to be signed as well. Take a moment, admire that artwork. Again, the foiling, the texturing is going to be really interesting and awesome to see. Not only that, they're playing around with different types of foiling, where instead of it just being foiled in this case, they're going to be experimenting with rainbow foils, which is something to definitely keep in mind. With that being said, again, overnumbered. We are getting Orin and Rumble as overnumbered, looking good. I love the kind of oil paint look to some of this. The texture that is on it just looks so good, and so excited to see what that is going to bring. Not only that, there's gonna be more seals in this set. So this is gonna be really interesting. They're reprinting the seals, which is really good. That's again gonna bring prices down even more, but this is overnumbered seals. And so gonna be really cool to be able to see what kind of artwork that looks like. Again, all of that is going to be foiled as well. So it's gonna just look so good on being able to get that. There are over 40 overnumbered. Now, not only that, they are bringing back Origin overnumbered champ units as well. This is gonna look good. The one sad part, I'm hoping that the signature here is gonna be able to look better in person, just because, you know, you definitely want to give due to the artist who has the signed card in this case. But man, is this gonna be interesting. Love that they were able to do this. And then, of course, with the release dates, we got the China release date of December 12th, 2025, and the English release date of February 13th, 2026. Now, yes, I get why some of you might be disheartened by that, especially being in English, that, you know, well, China's going to figure out the majority of the meta, and then it's going to be too little too late. It's already going to be defined by the time it gets here. Maybe. Pretty much, but maybe. The big thing about that that's really interesting to keep in mind as well is going to be the fact that set 4 is going to be syncing everyone up to worldwide releases all at the same time. It's going to be interesting to see how all of the printing is able to be held up at that point. Again, still hinging on how much Wave 2 is going to be able to do with that. But man, just a quick meme that Jacob uploaded, had to go ahead and add this in. It is so true. You're looking at this, guys, and you're seeing upcoming sets for this next set, including Vendetta, Unleashed, and Radiance. Now, of course, Unleashed is going to be set 3, and then Vendetta is going to be the one that syncs us all up, if I recall correctly. Not only that, we are going to be looking at the upcoming event qualifier. We do have the regional for Houston. That is going to be December of 2025. Then not only that, we have our first European one going in February as well, which is going to be awesome. Then I am excited about this. February 2026, we are going down to Las Vegas for a regional qualifier. Yes, it's in Vegas. It's only 3-4 hours south of me. I am so excited for this and can't wait to see. And then, of course, not only that, guys, you're looking at this we have, look at all these regionals that we even have: North American, Europe, all of this, Australia, even until May of 2026. So there's even more to come after all of this. Vendetta. Woo! Look at that artwork. And again, this is going to be the set that finally takes the final 4 colors that were not utilized yet and combine them into this set. So going to be really cool to see all the other color combinations, because one of them that we haven't seen, of course, is red and green. So this is going to be really fun to be able to experience. Now, Spiritforged Nexus Knight runes are going to be also the ones that have the rainbow foiling in it, so something to keep in mind with that. And again, ones that you're going to be able to pull. Not going to be textured as far as I know, just like how the ones are at this Nexus Knight, but still really cool to be able to see. Now, not only that, again, we saw the Italy one that is going to be taking place February 20th through 22nd. That is going to be including side events and all of that as well. And Las Vegas is going to be the 27th through the 1st. Going to be watching for tickets on that. Holy crap, that is going to be so much fun. Now, this is the artwork for Unleashed. Woo, looking good. Now, really cool. They did say that this was going to be having a lot to do with jungling in this case, so really fun to be able to see. And again, there is the timeline on all of that. So Radiance is going to be the one at the end of next year. Vendetta is going to be the one that is going to sync everyone up to the worldwide release. So guys, I am excited about this. And it's really cool that we are finally seeing, I mean, they've said for the first, 2 quarters at least of the new year, at least up till May, that we are going to be able to get a lot more regionals. That is going to be so cool to be able to see. Can't wait to see how that's going to be interacting as well. There's some really cool stuff that is going to be coming from that. It's kind of unfortunate that Europe isn't necessarily getting a regional before Spiritforged. They're not going to be able to have a regional with set 1. At least they're going to be able to have their store champs. It's not the same. I know it really sucks, but it's still great to be able to see, what they're able to do, and that they are going ahead and getting their event still. Now that we're finally getting all this out, it's going to be really cool to see how it continues to progress. Just looks like they have a lot going on here. PAX East is going to be really interesting as too. That's going to be another major tournament that they're going to be having as well. Teamfight Tactics Paris, the Open there is going to be having a Riftbound event as well. So much exciting stuff. And I mean, that's going to be also something interesting to see too. If League of Legends starts having like the NA qualifiers or the world qualifiers or things of that, or worlds even, are they going to, have a separate event for like, worlds, not worlds for Riftbound yet, but you get what I mean, but like a major tournament, or regionals, if you will, at these kinds of events. It would be really cool. I mean, it would be chaotic as all get out, to be able to have a worlds at worlds for Riftbound and League of Legends. Of course they would be taking place on different days, but that's of course not going to be happening till at least 2028. So we'll see. But still, there is a lot of competition to have here. I'm excited to see what's going to be happening here. Spiritforged, it is bittersweet in the sense of we're going to have the full set done being revealed by December 3rd. There's already talks in the online community. I know Thursday Night Fights is going to be doing one set 2 release or set 2 tournament on December 4th. That'll be right after all the cards are revealed. And so it'll be interesting to see how all of that ends up playing out. It's just tough because, it is that bittersweet where it's cool to get to know all the cards, but we don't get to experience that hype together. Unfortunately, like I said, the China is going to be able to go ahead and figure out a lot of this right off the get-go. And that's kind of bittersweet because, we saw that for set 1. We saw that for set 2. We're going to experience that again for set 3. It's going to be the same pattern here where about 3 weeks after release, we're going to start getting more reveals for set 3 right after we get set 2. And so that can be a little tough. But again, once we get synced up, that'll be in late Q2, early Q3. When they are going to be releasing Vendetta. That's going to be reassuring there. Super excited about that, and I think that's going to make a big difference. I'm curious. I am curious about what the equipment is going to do to this meta. I'm a little hesitant. It sounds like it's a really good idea, but I don't want it to be so much of a meta takeover with equipment that if you're not running equipment in your deck, you're running equipment destruction. Where you are running, if you're playing like the Kaisa decks kind of thing, you are running the gear, remove all the gear cards and things of that nature kind of thing. It is going to be probably something that you side in all the same. But it's going to be interesting to see how all of that ends up playing out. And I'm curious to see how all of that is going to impact these price markets too. I mean, yes, we are still a bit a ways away from, set 2 being released in English, but a lot of people might be already theory crafting. They'll see what's doing really good in China, and they might be buying up origin cards at that point to be able to go ahead and preemptively be ready for this set 2. One thing that I am going to be excited for, though, is the pre-release events. Now that this game is finally out, we're going to have a pre-release event that will take place on February 6th, potentially February 7th as well, depending on if it's a Friday or a Saturday on February 6th. Let me actually check. So yeah, February 6th is on a Friday, so expect some events probably happening on that Saturday as well. But the pre-release events are going to be really interesting because you're going to get a pack of your Legend of Choice when you sign up with your game store, and then you are going to get 5 additional packs as well to finish out this deck. And so that's going to be really cool because you'll be able to really experience the legends as a whole, and that can be something that is really cool to be able to experience. Not only that, getting 5 packs as well on pre-release is going to be really cool to be able to get that going. It's going to be interesting to see how that coincides with all the regionals that are coming up as well. It is literally the week after we got Vegas going on, pretty much a week and a half after. That's a lot to ask, trying to figure out and play tests and things of that nature. Luckily, if you are involved in the online community, there's multiple ways with TCG Arena, Tabletop Simulator, to be able to test with your team, with your friends, to be able to at least get used to this new meta. But still, that's going to be tough to try to figure out this new meta and go in. It's also going to be just crazy. 24 legends in total. I mean, mind blown right there. And I'm going to be curious to see how all of that is going to end up influencing the meta. It's something that we're going to be definitely going into and taking a look at, where they probably rank in this meta as well. That's going to be something really interesting to be able to see. Now, it seems like they keep also pushing these boundaries on powers as well, or on power creep, where it's like, you are getting things that are pretty crazy. We saw the Poro that was released that creates a gold that you can use on the following turn. That's a really great Poro. Takes out the power cost. Not only that, if you're able to create enough gold, I mean, you can really save yourself a lot of the power cost that would be needed. Time warps could become a very viable thing. A Cathian Rain's even more powerful. A lot of things that are already plaguing this, or not plaguing necessarily, but, raining down on this meta can be a very big difference maker here because of the different gold cost. And hopefully they don't power creep so fast that it gets out of reach. Again, there's only 2 sets here. I love how these sets feel. I'm not bagging on that whatsoever, but I am stating that set 1 is not your traditional set 1 at all. There's a lot of cards where people are looking at Falling Star and they're like, that's not a set 1 card, or Aurora, Dead Bloom Predator, things like that. And they're looking at those and they're like, this is not a set 1 card. And it's like, yes, that's what makes set 1 so good. You play other things, like if you played other card games or whatever, there wasn't a whole lot of great interactions in a lot of these card games from set 1. They played it kind of safe, and it was a bit more bare bones of a game because of that. And Riftbound threw that out the window and made a very dynamic you know, set one that is just an absolute blast to play, with so many different ideas and mechanics revolving around, that each deck feels very individual and just so fun to play with and against. So it's going to be interesting to see how all of that continues to unravel. But again, I'm just a little bit worried about that power creep. That's all. That's going to be the main thing. But still, I know that Riot is going to be very carefully watching all of this, that they are going to be fixating on creating a good balanced game. If anyone does happen to get into a tier 0 type thing, then they might talk about limiting or even just banning all in all. You know, it'll be interesting if they do go the limited route, where they are just like, hey, this card in particular you can only play a 1 of now. This card in particular you can only play is completely banned, or you can play a 2 of. That kind of stuff is pretty normal in other card games. We'll see how that ends up playing out. But this is going to be very interesting to be able to see. Again, all the cards are going to be revealed of Spiritforged by December 3rd. We have some great influencers out there. Turn 'em Sideways, Speci, Anu, and a couple others as well. Those are just the ones off the top of my head that are going to be releasing their reveals here momentarily in the next week or so. So really exciting to be able to see all of that, and a huge honor for them to be able to do so. That's awesome. So with that, guys, what are your thoughts on what they did on PAX Unplugged? What are you looking forward to most about Spiritforged, and how do you feel about what Riot is doing so far with this game? Go ahead and let me know down in the comments below, and until next time, guys, have a good one.